So here we are at FIBO, the biggest fitness show on earth, and it is good to be back. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, it's a great energy. I'm very, very excited. I'm really pleased I made the trip over here.
Because you haven't been here since
2019 when we last had a booth. So yeah,
right.
It's the same but very different.
Same but different. So you're in the equipment space. Tell us about that. What's that been like for you?
I think I've put a few notes here. It seems as though every time you used to come to these shows, you didn't really see a lot of change. This year, I feel that people have probably been hidden away, not had too much to do, and they've been innovating like crazy. So definitely a more noticeable change in what's here from an equipment perspective. I think the other thing from my world is technology. We always, in all of the industry events and that, everybody talks about technology, but you can really start to see how the different parts are starting to come together. It's still not there. It's definitely fragmented. It's not connected. But now I think you can, if you really look at what's happening, you can start to potentially see how some of those parts are going to come together and where it's going to go. Recovery, obviously, that's been around, but there's a lot of different forms of this. This is one of the things I've been thinking. How do you create these spaces, recovery areas in the gym? It's quite difficult to do, but there's definitely some beginnings of how you could put those ideas together. Still a way to go, but I think if you're observant, you know, there's some great ideas that I'm going to be thinking about in terms of our business. And then I think talking about the gym, what does the fitness industry look like in the future? It's very difficult to imagine. I've struggled to do that. But I think coming here and talking to people, I've got a really good sense of what that could look like. And it's definitely very different to what it is today. That's my view. What about your side?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I've just realised we're seeing all the parts, how hard it is to be simple. How hard it is to just have that one through line of user experience. We're seeing all the pieces here. So that was something for me. Kind of the absence of health, which I felt a lot more at Ursa, but not so much over here. So we've got wellness recovery, and I just haven't had health be a part of the conversation as much as we did in America. And then for me, just looking at the actual curriculum, the actual program, there's been a number of conferences running alongside the event, which I think have been very progressive. It's the first time the World Active Summit's come together, all the association heads from around the world, to really unite and getting people living healthier, to really be a preventative health solution. So that's very big for me. There's been a lot of talks happening on the show. And I would say my final point is there's a lot more focus. So I think there has been some innovation. A lot of the people we spoke to said they've pretty much for the last 24 months been innovating hard out. So I think we've seen some of those shifts. But I get a feeling that there's a lot more happening than just it is changed. You know, our consumer is now in a lot more places. We're having to follow them around. Everyone's now accepted that hybrid is the way forward, but they're sort of seeing a drop in both sides. People are coming, sometimes in some cases, a little bit less back to live and a little bit less in terms of the pandemic levels of digital consumption. However, overall, it's up. So I think just those, it's going to take us 12 to 24, I still think, until all this drops in and we start seeing those true integrations.
Yeah.
But great show.
Yeah.
And really positive energy. Like everything we've been at, there's just, everyone's just been on fire, right?
Yeah, I think it's a good foundation for what's going to happen in the next few years. So we picked a few interesting concepts. Love to know what you think about them, and I hope you enjoy this short video that we've done from FIBO 2023.
Enjoy. So here we are in Hall 7 where it's all happening, and we are in the presence of the winner of the FIBO Innovation Performance Award, Haven, which is part of the Woodway stand, and with this fabulous product called
The Antagonist.
The Antagonist. So this is Kris, one of the co-founders. Tell us about The Antagonist.
This is The Antagonist. We were very honored, very excited to win the Innovation Award yesterday. We were really surprised because there were some other companies that have done a great job and been in the industry for many years, people that we work with and respect. But we were elated to win the Innovation Award yesterday, and with our product that we're bringing to market for the first time, the Antagonist.
Oh, great. Tell us about it. What does it do?
Yeah, so the Antagonist is something new. We use flywheel technology to do push-pull action. So a lot of the times when we work out, whether we're doing body weight training or weights or any other type of training, we do a lot of pushing or a lot of pulling, but not a lot of pushing and pulling. So in the real world, when we're swimming or when we're doing other activities, we do a lot of push and pull. So we wanted to have a device that's bi-directional, so pushing and pulling at the same time. So the name Antagonist comes from this agonistic antagonistic muscle group action that we fire every day when we walk or when we sit or when we run. And so we wanted to be able to train those muscle groups at the same time.
Was this a COVID baby? Did you make this up during the downtime or?
We did. Yeah, we've been working on this for about 2.5 years. We used the pandemic to put our brains together and come up with something new and unique and special, something that we've wanted to have our whole lives ourselves, something to train on. And we've tried to put it all together in one product.
And you're quite global, aren't you? Because I think you've got US, where are you?
Correct. So Woodway is in Waukesha, Wisconsin. That's where we're headquartered. In Weil am Rhein, Germany is where we have our subsidiary. And I've been working with Woodway and Doug Bayerlein, our owner, and Eric Weber, his son John Bayerlein, for about 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
So what's there's a screen above? What's the connected element of this then?
Yeah, so right now we've got some basic data and some very basic software on this machine. We wanted to bring something out to the trade show where we're, let's say, very sound in the data. So first we focus on the sensor technology. The sensor technology that we use is the same as in the RP3 treadmill, or the RP3 rowing machine, excuse me. So Jan Lammers is a co-founder in the company Haven, and Jan Lammers is the owner and founder of RP3. So we take the same technology out of the rowing machine and put it in our flywheels here.
Right, so just going back to this then, so what are you, with the sensors, what is it that you're picking up, and what will some stupid person like me that wants to work out on it get from looking at the screen?
Yeah, so we're measuring first and foremost the power, the wattage. So we like to do watt training. We can do it in kilograms. We want to measure the speed. We want to measure the revolutions per minute, and ultimately we want to show the velocity as well. So I think in the past, a lot of professional athletes have been interested in maximum weight, maximum power, and today a lot of people are interested in velocity, so the speed of getting to those maximum powers.
Right, and does that output to an app, or is it mainly just stored there?
We'll have that in an app later. Right now we're just showing it on this screen.
Right, okay. And where did the sort of inspiration for this? It's an interesting looking contraption. That's what caught
our eye.
Yeah, caught our eye when we walked back. Like, where did you kind of start with the whole thing?
It's sort of a combination of 3 different guys in different sports that we've played. So Matthias comes out of powerlifting. I used to wrestle. I played a lot of baseball. I played some American football when I was younger. And so we also like to swim, and we tried to come up with a device that mimics a lot of the motions in sport.
Right. And what about, so this is kind of almost like a lifting platform we're standing on. So is this, what's the relevance of the size and materials and everything on the base?
Yeah, so we're looking at a roughly about a 185 by about a 230 on a footprint.
Right, okay. And is this mainly just to give it stability? And
yeah, okay. Absolutely. So another thing that's important to us at Woodway and also at Haven is compliance. So we come from a medical products background, and Matthias, our head of quality and engineering, he's taken many products from zero all the way to medically certified. So from concept through design, development, the whole engineering process. Right. And in the sports and fitness world, we don't have as many norms and directives as they do in the medical world, but in the medical world where we come from, we do. So we're going to definitely certify this product medically as a Class 1 device. Probably take us about a year to get that work done. But the interesting thing is we have all those competencies in our core team of owners.
Right. So who would you see buying this sort of product? Is it like a fitness club? Is it medical?
Yeah. So at Woodway we work in about 15 different vertical markets. We always start with premier sport or elite sport or performance sport. We want to be a gold standard in the top of the pyramid, in the top of elite sport in the world. And from there, we work ourselves into a brighter segment, whether it's maybe fitness or maybe it's a military or a government application. It's really a product of many different markets. Also, what we like about the flywheel technology is that there's so much less resistance and stress and wear and tear on the joints. So once we've medically certified this, we'll see it in a lot of PT applications. Also for let's say a more elderly population. I would be very proud if my mother and father who are in their 70s can work out on a device like this that they maybe wouldn't touch with weights, but with a flywheel. We can leave the bar hang in the air, we can do our workout and let go, and it's a very safe device as well.
Where are you manufacturing this?
We're manufacturing this in the Netherlands, in Haksbergen.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
And you're going to be shipping it to America, or you're going to be making one, and you're having American manufacturing?
For the time being, we're going to do all manufacturing in Humbarger. We're considering other ideas, maybe in Germany, maybe in the United States, and elsewhere as we go.
That's why Holland, just out of interest? It's not the most popular place to make fitness equipment.
Well, Jan Lammers, one of the co-founders, is from Humbarger, and he's got his facility there.
Okay.
He's got his design team there, his engineers there, and his entire manufacturing facility. So
And roughly,
we've teamed up with him.
what's the market price for something like this if you are without,
In Germany, we're going to sell this for 17,850
euros?
And, correct. And for the first 100 units we sell, we're going to offer a 10% discount.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Carry
Very
on
good. Are you going to have a workout now, huh?
Carry on luggage back to LA.
All right, well, look, thanks. We're looking forward to seeing how
Thank you
you
so much.
how you get on with it.
All right.
Thank you. Amazing.
Thank you for being here.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Introducing the next big thing in functional training, the Escape Barrow, a revolutionary training tool that combines a loaded farmer's carry with a sled push to develop hip, grip, and core strength. Developed in partnership with Pete Holman, inventor of the DRAX Rip Trainer and Nautilus Glute Drive, the Escape Barrow can be rolled, pushed, dragged and carried. The Escape Barrow packs a punch with an impressive load capacity of 440 pounds, and with a two-stage galvanized paint covering process, it's also ideal for outdoor use. So head over to escapefitness.com/barrow. That's escapefitness.com/barrow to find out more. Enjoy the rest of this episode.
We've got Yannick here from Execube, and we have some mixed reality here, which means what?
Yeah, you don't have to wear the goggles, so you don't sweat inside of them. The mixed reality is a real cool thing because you can still see your body. And here you're surrounded by 3 walls, so you kind of get the feeling of virtual reality, but you're still here. And that's the real cool thing, because virtual reality for functional fitness is very prone for injuries, because you always have a short delay and you don't see your body position exactly at the same time as you see it when you're really here in the real world.
Okay, great. So what are we, these are fitness programs?
Yep.
What are we looking at here?
So we're looking at the whole body functional workout. So you will do several exercises like jumps, punches, touches. So you will be really quick on your feet, and you also do a combined training of physical and also cognitive training, which is really cool because this is the most efficient training method of both. So it's a really time efficient tool.
Okay,
Right.
so why don't you give us a
I'm gonna give
us
it
a
a
bit of
go.
a demo, and I'll ask you questions whilst we're
Yeah, perfect.
going through it.
I'm gonna get serious and take my slippers off.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, this is
Okay, first we'll calibrate to your size.
Okay.
So you will see 3 poses and you will have to mimic them.
You never ask a woman her size. No.
Yeah, that's why we calibrate it, so you don't have to ask it. So yeah, straighten your arms to the sides. Yeah. Now touch the floor.
Your hands in the air.
Perfect. Now you see the touch points here on the wall. They adapted to your size without asking you your size. Yeah. So you stand in the middle between them, you go to the side and come back quickly. Yeah, exactly. The exercises are shown on signs.
Okay.
So here you see it, and you will have to do the thing that this figure here does. So this means, yeah, but it's on the shoulder height, so touch the middle. Exactly, and come back. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Touch left. That's all I want to get.
Yeah, so when the arm goes to the left, yeah, exactly.
Complete.
So now the arm goes to the bottom. Yeah.
Complete. What do I work?
Yeah, then you're on our high score table in first place and you get credit. Okay, so that was the yellow ones, the touches.
Okay.
Now we come for the blue ones, the punches. Here you have to rotate your upper body, and when your arm goes to the right side, punch with your left hand in this wall here. So try it now. Yeah.
So what are these walls made of?
So this is artificial leather here for easy cleaning.
Okay.
And inside here it's cushioned.
Okay.
And on the back there's a stability layer.
Right.
Yeah, perfect. Straighten your arms. That was really good.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm doing more than I need.
Now we're getting on the racetrack.
Okay.
And you will have to perform the exercises quickly before you enter the rings.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, go a bit more to the inside. Yeah, perfect.
So in terms of the technology that you've got here, I can see, like, explain what we're looking at there. What systems, how's this all working?
So this is a commercial system. It's HTC Vive tracking system, which is currently the most precise thing on the market that you can use for these kind of things.
Okay.
For these applications.
So what's that? Those 3 projectors up there, are they?
Yeah, there are 3 projectors
Yeah.
there. Which
And that's
project-
basically just creating this sort of 3 walls that we're
yeah,
looking at, right?
exactly.
And then how does the projected images connect to the hand pieces then? How does that work?
I lost.
3 projectors,
Yep.
they're projecting onto these kind of padded walls, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. And how does the images connect to how does what you see on the walls connect to her hitting? How does that work?
Yeah. So we develop our own games. We have several game designers working on that, and then they combine the tracking system into a immersive environment. So the gaming area and also the instructions for the exercises.
So they're just regular projectors, are they?
Yep.
All right. And then what are those 2 things in the corner? Those
So they are the cameras for the tracking system. So they track all of her movements.
by the things that she's
trackers
got on her
she's
hands.
wearing on the wrists.
Okay.
And you can also add 2 more on the ankles.
Right. Okay. And then if you compare this to, let's say, a virtual reality headset, where you're kind of doing, how is that similar or not similar to how that works?
So it's not
Like
similar.
an Oculus, for example.
Yeah, it's not similar because you're still here. You don't get the cyber sickness
Yeah.
because it's on the free walls. And you get, for the walls, you get some haptic feedback, which is very important when playing and also for the feeling of immersion. So we found that on studies. We always develop these games within studies. So we don't want to produce just something. We want to really validate it scientifically.
Right. So where do you think this will go? Like, this is the first time I've seen it. You must be one of the first people that have actually sort of created this. What do you call it? Not virtual reality. What do you call it?
Mixed reality.
Mixed reality. So
yeah,
you must be one of the first people who have done this, I would say, in the fitness space, are you?
Yeah. We are some like, one of the first people that's doing this. And also in the whole system, we just wanted to invent something new into the fitness industry because we believe in the fact that the fitness industry has to change. So from the classic fitness devices to some more mixed reality things, because people really have like they want to win. They have like the gaming thing inside of their body, so they want to compete against other people, and that's why we invented a new device to combine all of these things.
So where do you say this can go? Like, my guess is that this is a relatively, well done,
Hey.
first iteration. What could the future of this what could the future of this look like? Where would this go next, do you think?
So I hope that we can have it in several fitness centers.
Yeah, obviously, but you know, in terms of the technology, the experience.
Technology, so that you can still get more and more immersive thing, so that you really combine this to your daily life activities.
So could you have, for example, a group exercise room and have 20 people doing this together, for example?
Yeah, we already have this.
Oh, really?
Not with 20, but with 4 of these.
Wow.
And there you can play at the same time and also the same exercise. So you really see, you can compete against
Like a
each other.
multiplayer thing.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
exactly.
interesting.
But you could also play it 2 people at the same time.
Right.
So then it's less a training that you did, a workout. It's more like a
Competition.
cooperative, competition, cooperative thing.
Yeah. And what about the sort of visual experience? Like, is this like it's a pretty reasonably light room? Are there any certain restrictions or that for it to be visually, like, is it better to have it in a really dark room? Or?
Yeah, of course it's better when it's a really dark room, but you see here it's really light, bright, and you can still see it, but the experience is of course much better when there's in a dark room.
But it's still good not to be completely blacked out because you have spatial awareness, so otherwise you're taking away the advantage. My heart rate is up, so I'm sort of, it's up, and I definitely feel like I got a workout, so it was great.
Yeah, and you only did 3 minutes, right? So.
And they were just.
But you were out partying last night.
Yeah, I was partying. But the things I enjoyed was there was a whole lot going on, so there were things to do. It was telling me how long to go. It was giving me feedback, turn your whole body. So there was a lot of things going on in this. Yeah.
And I think you still didn't recognize all of the things because this was your first impression.
Course,
and from time to time, you have more time or resources to detect other things.
But also the learning curve was very fast.
Yeah.
The first one I didn't win.
Yeah.
The second one, I have to wait for the lights, or it's the timing, or
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
So if I wanted to put this in my gym, what sort of cost would this system be here roughly?
So the whole system is 40,000 euros.
Right.
I don't know the exact amount in US dollars, maybe a little bit higher. But then you get the case here and also the computer over there with the whole system on it.
And is there subscription as well as that, or is that everything?
Yeah, there is also a license fee, but in these 40,000, the first year is already included. After that, it's around 2,000 euros per year for the license fee. But for that, you get constantly new updates, new features, new trainings.
So is it ready to sell, or is this a kind of prototype?
Yeah, we already sell it.
Okay. Where are you selling it?
More than 60 units we've already sold. We sell it to fitness centers, rehab centers, universities, also senior residences.
I was going to ask about age because I would expect it to skew younger, but that's going older.
Yeah, exactly. So the people that are playing this are from really young, 7 years old, up to 90 or even older, because you can adjust the speed and also the system adjusts to your capabilities. So, for example, maybe you recognize that when you were performing really good, the game speeded up, so you got more exercises.
I just noticed that. Very clever.
Yeah, so that's really cool. If the game detects that you're
getting it,
you're getting it, then it gets even faster. And if you get it wrong, then it slows down a little bit. So it keeps you on your right performance level.
So are you just selling this in Germany, or are you selling it other places?
So everywhere.
Everywhere?
Yeah, exactly. We're mainly...
Anyone who wants to buy it. We'll do a deal.
Or carry-on luggage. We keep taking things home.
We have one, we sold one to the 49ers fitness center in San Francisco. And we have one in Canada, in Waterloo. So this is overseas. And in Europe we have France, Spain, Norway, also in Israel.
So tell us the name of your company again.
It's Sphery.
It's what?
Sphery.
Sphery.
Yeah, and this product here is called the Execute.
Execute.
All right, there you go.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
thanks, and you performed really well.
So DRAX, designed by scientists, but Leo here is one of the co-owners.
Yeah, one of the shareholders in the company.
The company, and you've made a big splash at this show.
Yeah, it's been a really big show for us, and it's really what's really taken off is what we call our DRAX system, which is a sort of a system that's been designed to cater for that segment of the market that doesn't normally participate in the health and fitness industry. So, sure, a lot of people would realise that 85% of the market are never even going to think about going into a gym. They just find the whole thought of it far too intimidating, and they realise they've got no idea what they're doing, and they don't look like fools when they walk into the gym and stand around scratching their head. So DRAX has come up with this new technology that simplifies that whole process for them and makes it a very unintimidating, user-friendly way to come into the gym and be guided by the system, which is totally run by artificial intelligence and constantly is upgrading itself and taking through, as you'll see when I walk you through the system.
All right, yeah,
Can't wait to
take us
check
through
that.
it.
Okay, all right, so normally what would happen if someone came into a club with this system, they'd come up to initial kiosk at the entrance to the club, and they'd have a band which would show that they're a member of this system or whatever, and what they do is they simply would tag in. Okay, so that would bring up a program for me. Now what the AI system's done is it brings up my individualized program for today. All right, now normally it would also show me a locker number. I haven't had a locker allocated on this, but it would normally give me a locker so I can walk up to there and put all my gear in the locker and whatever. And that's going to show me what I'm going to do today. Now I'll also have an app that you'll be able to look at on your phone and follow this through, but this is just to give you a quick overview before you walk in the club.
And before this, would you have already set up your own profile, like, so it understands?
That's right, it understands. You already have done an introductory workout, so the system understands you, and it's now in the process of constantly updating your program for you. So we'll work through what all these are, but we'll be starting off with some limbering up exercises. We'll then be going on to some pin-loaded machines. It'll then show us, we're going to work out on the treadmill for our cardio stuff today, and we'll be finishing off with some stretching stuff, and it's all guided by the system.
And what's going on here? Why is this rolling and why is this?
All right, well it's just rolling because this is longer than that's rolling because it just doesn't fit onto the screen there, that's all. So anyway, I can check out there and move on. So normally the workout starts with us working with these intelligent smart mirrors over here. So we'll wander over this way. Okay, and so what we have is we have these mirror systems that when I tag into this, a model's going to come up and guide me through the warming up, limbering up sort of exercise I need before I start my workout. So once again, we tag in. Okay. So what it does is it brings up these exercises that I'm going to do today, and all I need to do is just hit the play button. The model will come up. It's going to give me a preview of the first exercise I'm going to do. All right, it's showing me that, then it's going to start. And what I would normally do is I would stand here then, once it starts, and I would follow, all I have to do is follow what the model does. Now I don't need to know anything about exercise. The model's going to guide me through that, and I just do exactly what it does. And you'll see this whole thing here will take 5 minutes, and the time's counting up here. So there's a 5-minute sort of limbering up, warm-up process here, and it'll just guide me through these different exercises.
And is some of this dependent on, so let's say you that's super fit or someone that might
Absolutely.
not be? Okay.
So this is totally individualized for me. So every time I come in, this will be different. For every member that comes in, this will be different. And the system, the artificial intelligence system, is constantly upgrading my program and changing what I'm doing. But yeah, it's taking into account how experienced I am, how often I've been to the gym, what's going to be, so, obviously when you start off, the exercises are more simplistic. And as time goes on, they'll become more, advanced and that sort of stuff, depending on how I'm coping with it. So let's assume we've done all that, all right? We'll then move on to the strength training area. See what our strength training exercise were. We'll take a punt. Let's assume a shoulder press is one of it. We'll soon find out if it's wrong. So that'll show us how the system works. All right, so basically, once again, I come along and I tag into the system here. Okay, and it's going to show me, all right. So normally it would come up and show me what my workout is for today. All right, but this isn't on my program today. All right, so we should have looked at my program, or I would normally look at my phone and it'll show me what exercise we go to. Now I do remember there was a chest press on there, so let's go over to that and see if that's more successful. So we'll try tag in here. All right, so see the difference here. It's now brought up my workout for today. So if I go up to the wrong machine, there's going to be no workout for me because that's not on my program today. And you'll see here it wants me to use 5 kilograms. We're just going to do one set of 20 reps. And it's going to take a minute to do that. It's going to time us through it. Now this also has an instructional video that you would normally have watched when you first started. If you forget what to do, we could go to the instructional video, it'll show us what to do. But assuming you remember what to do, all right, I need to pick 5 kilograms. And you'll see the lights going to detect I'm on 5 kilograms, and that's what it's going to record, all right? And then I'll be on the machine and I just need to say that I'm ready to start the program. Okay, and you'll watch here or follow me as I work through it, all right? So as I work through it, see how it's following my movement, and that way I can see whether I'm going through the full range of movement or not, and it's counting my reps for me. See, that's,
So you follow the speed of the ball as
that's
well?
right.
Right.
And that's rep number 2, all right? I come back, and I should be following the speed of this. I'm not doing that exactly. It's obviously set for a bit of a fast movement here, but you'll see that it's counting our reps here, all right? At the end, we'll finish that, and it would normally then ask us also how we felt about our workout intensity. All right, it wants feedback from us, all right? So I would tell it that, yeah, that was like, I'll say it's number 5, and it'll take that into account. So what it's going to take into account is it's actually seeing how good I am at keeping up with the speed that I'm supposed to go. Obviously, if the weight's heavy, I'm going to struggle to do that. It's also detecting whether I'm getting fatigued or not, all right? It can pick up all that sort of thing. But it's also asking for my subjective feedback at the end of it as well. And it's going to, yeah, so that's right. So it can adjust. So it can decide whether next time I'm ready to go up to the next weight or not, or should do more reps or whatever. And it'll automatically update. I don't have to worry about what weight I use next time. Just do it, forget it, come back. It's going to tell me what I'm up to next time. All right? So let's assume we've finished all our strength training exercises. We'd now go on to a cardio exercise and have a treadmill allocated for us. So let's assume we've finished our strength workout. We now come over to the treadmill, which has been allocated for us for the cardio workout. Once again, we'll see this treadmill's got an NFC tag-in facility here. So we tag into the treadmill, and it comes up with my workout. So it's going to be a 20-minute workout, all right? It's going to estimate at the speed. It's going to probably get me to go up 4.8K an hour. No incline to start off with. It's got a target heart rate for me. And all I need to do is like just start that program, all right? And it's going to get itself going. The treadmill will automatically start. I don't have to touch anything else. Now it's already programmed in. You see we're going to go up to 4.8K an hour, start up at 3.5. And it's going to just let me warm up into it. And then as it senses my heart rate, I haven't got my heart rate monitor on at the moment, but it uses heart rate as well as my feedback to determine whether it's the right pace or not. But yeah, I'll be walking on this. I'll warm up to it. It's going to build me up to that right speed, and it's going to keep me going for 20 minutes. At the end, the treadmill will stop automatically, but we'll stop it here now. All right, would you like to end? Yes. Okay, and once again, it's going to ask for my perceived exertion feedback. So, you know, for example, if I put here, that was way too hard, next time it's going to go, okay, we're going to have to back it off a bit for them, or we can't afford to go up yet. Well, it's way easy, then despite what it projected for me, it's going to probably increase the speed a little bit next time. Okay, all right, so we've done our strength work, we've done our cardio work, and what we normally do now that you're all warmed up and like you're supple, we go off and we finish with some stretches, okay? So we come over to the system over this way. We've got this stretching machine. I come up to it, once again, like everything else, we tag in. All right, and then what it's going to do is it's brought up my individualized stretching exercises for today. And then all I'm going to have to do, once again, is just hit the play button. A model's going to come up, and the model's going to show me exactly what she wants me to do for my stretching. And once again, it shows me a preview to each stretch. Right, so I can see what's coming up, all right? And then it'll count down from 3, and then I just need to follow what the model's doing, all right? And this is built to facilitate a whole range of stretches. And once again, this whole stretching process is going to take only about 1:50 in total to get through these exercises, all right? So I would normally just follow along with that, and then once I'm finished, I'm done. Now, normally also set up with this system, just like we could have logged into a personalized locker that will open for us on the system, I can now go up to like a vending machine. So I would also be able to come up to the system. I would be able to order stuff from the vending machine. I could pick something out, and I'm not sure if this is hooked up at the moment. Oh, it is. So I could just ask to buy it. All right, it wants to see my code. I check in. It's going to get it for me. It's going to automatically add that to my member account. So no cash required. All right, it's just all on a virtual system that gets automatically charged to my card, to my member account, or whatever. And there we have it. And normally, you know, you have protein drinks and food bars and all that sort of stuff. So everything in the system's integrated, from when you walk into the club to get into your locker, doing the whole workout. And the workout will be designed based on how long you've got to work out. So the workout we would have had today is designed to be an hour long. But if I was someone wanting to do a 20-minute workout, it might separate my strength and cardio days, it'd abbreviate it, or I might know that on different days of the week, I'm available for different lengths of time, and the whole program will
You
take
set your times then about how long you can work out.
That's right.
And how many times a week? Like
Absolutely, yeah. And the other thing it does is when I come to the club, it's changing the program even as I walk into the club, depending on who else is in the club and what equipment's getting used. So it will, on the run, change the order of machines so that everyone's not standing behind one machine in the gym. So if it knows that the leg press is going to be free, because it knows what everyone's program is in the gym. So everyone's like seamlessly working through the gym, not getting in each other's way. It just allows, it guides you through the gym like that.
Any feedback on performance over time, like improvements?
Yeah, well, look, the biggest thing is that the most important feedback is we get people go, I'm coming to the gym, whereas once upon a time I would never have considered coming at all, all right? And then there are people that have come to the gym and they dropped out because it was too hard for them to work out that they do. So they've said, wow, like I'll never drop out of this program. So we have super high retention rates because it's so easy for them to work out what to do.
Yeah, and you're also educating as you go.
Absolutely.
On your terms, essentially. So
exactly. Yeah. And there's also then tied in with it, there's all sort of reminders that come out to you going, hey, what are you doing? You're supposed to come to the gym yesterday, you didn't come. When are you available to come next? And it'll be prompting you and doing that sort of stuff. Sending you encouragement messages and all these sorts of things as well. So when you're doing your cardio workouts, it'll do things like, you know, explaining to you what your perceived exertion should feel like. It might say, we want you to go at the highest pace at which you still feel comfortable. How you're feeling. And if it feels too hard, you can override the system and reduce the speed if you want to, or you can increase it more if you want to.
Right.
And then it'll take note of that. And if you wanted to increase your speed above what it's set, it goes, okay, we need to start ramping things up a bit quicker for this guy. Or they're putting it down, they go, okay, obviously they're not adapting as well as we should. And it's taking your heart rate into account and all those sorts of things as well.
And then regarding the aftercare, I guess we know that we respond when we have a calendarized event.
Yep.
We're expected to be there.
Yep.
We also respond to good nudges that are highly personalised.
That's right.
So you're building that into your
Absolutely, yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So look, the system's always communicating with you through the app, sending you reminders, giving you, like doing two things. It's using a stick and a carrot approach, you know what I mean? You've done a great workout, well done, you're making great progress. This is how much you've improved since your lean last time. If you haven't turned up, are you okay? Are you unwell? Let us speak to you if there's anything wrong. Otherwise, when are you available to come into the gym next? You know what I mean? So use an approach. First of all, check there's not a good reason that you didn't turn up. You know what I mean? You're in hospital after a car accident or you're sick or something. But if you are, then it's going to start gently nudging you to come back and use the system. So,
how many locations have got this running?
So at the moment, look, the system's in its reasonably early days. It's mainly been run in Korea to beta test the system at the moment. So DRAX has actually opened 2 dedicated facilities where the entire club is set up to run the system. So people can see showroom club sites that run like this and prove the viability of the system. But also in Korea, there's countless clubs that have started to put this into existing clubs. So they might have a normal club, but they might have a whole zone where they can now cater for people that wouldn't normally come into the club. But one of the things DRAX has also done is designed a whole club look and feel that is also less intimidating to the normal user. So the way a health club looks is one of the things that sometimes intimidates people. So they've changed it into a far more welcoming type feel in terms of the colours and all that sort of stuff that are in the club, just the way the whole club's laid out.
And in order to create the full experience, how many actual pieces of equipment are there? Because you've spoken about the different aspects of fitness that are needed.
Sure. So look, obviously the club can build it up as big as it wants, but generally a good size system that a club might start off with a minimum is they might put in 1 or 2 mirrors, you know what I mean? 1 or 2 stretching facilities. They could have as little as one of each. And then you probably want to have, let's face it, an absolute minimum of 4 pin loaded machines, but generally would recommend about 8 pin loaded machines. And then you might put in as a minimum 2 or 3 treadmills, maybe 1 stair climber, maybe an elliptical, maybe a recumbent bike, something like that. So normally with the system, there's no dumbbells, there's no free weights, there's no plate load equipment. It's all stuff that it's going to be very easy for people to learn to use, that can be given them constant feedback and that sort of thing. So yeah, you can start with a very small system, but they've got clubs that are 500 square metre clubs that are just, the whole club is dedicated to this system, know what I mean?
Excellent. Well, look, thank you very much.
Right, appreciate that.
System.
Great talking to you guys.
Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Well, here we are in Hall 8, the recovery, the spa, the wonderful hall here, and we've got Dirk here from Starpool.
Welcome, yes.
Yes, great to have you here. Now, where does the business come from? Because you've launched a new product today and you've got a wonderful product that we're going to try out soon.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're an Italian company focusing on the wellness industry, delivering great concepts for hotels, spas. Been building this for 50 years. And throughout the time, we spent a lot of time investigating scientific benefits, health benefits of our products, and came across new forms of therapy like flotation, cryotherapy, and realized there's a need for less invasive, less hassle treatment forms to make it more accessible to people. And hence we come across solutions like the Zero Body Cryo, which we launched today. It's a cryo
What is it? All body cryo?
Zero Body Cryo.
Zero body.
Zero Body Cryo.
Okay. Explain that.
It's basically, the mother is called Zero Body Dry Float. It's a floating product. That's where the name came from. So we said we have a slight flotation benefit also in the cryo version, so we kept the name.
Right.
And eventually launched a cold application and a floating application.
Right. So on the cryo then. So what is it? How is it different if it is from anything else on the market from a cryo perspective?
At the end of the day, it's probably the most sustainable solution you have in respect to cryo. You'll be embodied into a membrane with very cold water for 3 to 5 seconds, and for example, in comparison to cold water immersion,
3 to
you're
5
not getting
seconds or 3 to 5 minutes?
Sorry, minutes, of course. Sorry.
Wow.
For me, probably 3 to 5 seconds. No, but it's less invasive. You don't get wet, so it's easy to access, easy to use, and in terms of energy consumption, significantly lower. Also, no nitrogen, less energy, so very easy. So both applications basically deliver the same benefit, less hassle.
So on the cryo, like price-wise, you say you haven't got the nitrogen. So what is it? Just electric power that?
We're having a generator that creates the cold water and pumps it into the unit, which is obviously fed by electricity. But that's basically it. So not more than that.
And how does the price compare of the unit to a regular cryo?
Initial investment on the Zero Body Cryo is roughly 30K, I would say, compared to significant more on cryo chambers.
Right, okay.
And then with cryo, you're either getting into a cold plunge where you're in something that's appropriate for that, or you're getting into a cryo chamber and actually.
Exactly.
So are we closed? Are we what's the best practice here?
Obviously, that you can decide yourself, but this is accessible, obviously, with closing.
I know, there's a few people around here, right?
It's very easy to be accessed with regular sport clothing or street clothing, and you will be embraced by a membrane where you are covered basically by cold water on the top and cold water on the bottom.
Okay, that sounds amazing. And then tell us about the other therapy, and then we're going to vote. We might do stone, paper, scissors for who does what.
At the end, it comes down to what kind of result you want to achieve. Hence, the treatment will be a different one. So dry flotation is the, let's say, next step in terms of floating therapy.
Okay.
So usually you have the tanks, you get wet, it's salty.
So explain that for people who don't know what flotation tanks are.
Flotation is considered by science to be the most effective solution in terms of recovery. Has an immediate impact on the HRV and works on your nervous system and activates the parasympathetic. So this is basically what's happening. Improves your sleep, improves your heart rate variability. Physical benefits of flotation can be release of your spine, so you can basically on your back pain, and muscle recovery at the end of the day. So it's a bunch of benefits you have. Hard to name one, but probably the most effective one, also scientifically proven, is the effect on the HRV.
Right, and you've got big clients here, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so tell us about that.
So Zero Body Dry Float's been around for quite some time, and particularly in the US, we have customers in the NFL, 49ers, Rams. Rams actually launched it in the season when they became What's
Go
that?
LA.
Exactly. MLB, Mariners, Cubs, Mets. What else? Carolina Hurricanes, NHL, Crimson Tide, Alabama.
Okay.
So we're quite well distributed, and also iCryo. You might know them as well. Have engaged into that.
Right. So on the flotation then, so traditional ones then are just like you get in some
Salty
sort of
water,
tank.
right?
You obviously have a lot of operating costs. You have a hygiene topic. Salty water can be quite nasty when you're injured. Fixing yourself after a floating session might take a while because you need to take a shower. You just jump in, less hassle, 20-minute session, you're done, off you go.
And what about maintenance, cleaning? What's that like?
Not much.
Right.
You basically, if you like, we have one-time sheets that you put on in terms of hygiene aspect. You wipe it off, and there you go. Water might be changed once a year, depending on what's needed in terms of algae or whatever, but super easy.
And what's the model for, like in a lot of people here from the health clubs, the spas, like is there a business model around that?
Absolutely. We have a bunch of clients that work in two different ways. One way is you use it as an add-on to your membership, so you can access all the recovery solutions for an extra charge. Or in the case of, I think, iCryo or similar concepts, you would have a per treatment pay. So you integrate it in membership or in a specific.
Right. Cold or float?
Well, I'll take my clothes off and do the cold.
all you need to do is take off your shoes and the jacket.
Okay,
That's it.
all right,
For you to
okay.
take your clothes
Well, you know.
off. Californians.
Okay, and one other question. Is there any other, do you have any other competitors in this space? Or are you the only ones that are doing like?
I mean, obviously, treatment-wise, there's different solutions in the market. In respect to those two products, we're unique, innovative, and pretty new to the market, and very excited to be here.
Very
Right.
good. Well, great products. So I'm looking
Let's
forward
try
to trying it.
Have fun.
Nice to meet you. Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, that was great. Wonderful.
What do you think?
Oh, Matt, it was amazing. I mean, I've done a flotation tank. This was great, so it was easy. I was on, and I had put on the headphones, and I had a choice. I could do breathing, do music, different languages, so they've obviously sorted all that out. I did the breathing one, which was lovely. It wasn't until I came to, so what I loved about it was you go in on a platform, and then you sink into weightlessness, which was amazing as you're learning this breathing. It didn't strike me how calm I was until I got brought out and gravity came back in. So this plate lifted me up back into gravity, and I was like, oh my goodness, no wonder we age, no wonder we feel tired at the end of the day, feel our backs. So it was amazing. I loved it.
How does it compare to a normal typical tank?
I can't do apples to apples because when I was in the tank, I also had darkness and it was complete silence, which it's hard in a hall like this. So, but it felt very good. It's definitely something I seek it, especially when I'm in environments like this. I seek nothingness, and I thought it was really good in that regard. How was your cryo?
It was good. It's a shame. I didn't quite get the full effect because I had some of my clothes on.
All he wants to do is
and
take
they
his
won't let me
clothes
take my
off.
clothes off. But I like it because it's, I don't know, just the ease of it, just being able to jump in. It was colder than I expected.
Right.
And I think I like kind of getting in the water. I love that experience. But I think for a lot of people that are not probably like me, for most people, that's a much better experience than, I guess, standing in a real cryo chamber or actually getting in a plunge pool. So I think it's a great idea.
Great,
They do
double
very
thumbs
well.
up. So Neonetic, this is your first FIBO, correct?
Correct.
New product.
New concept.
It really caught our eye.
Thank you.
What is the premise? Tell us what is going on here.
To make it simple, it's a functional eccentric training where force is produced by the personal trainer.
Whoa.
So the personal trainer applies the force using the levers and the person resists working in the opposite direction.
Okay.
And that gives a completely different perspective on what exercise is,
Right.
with so many different implications around rehabilitation, strength building, foundation, range of motion, neuromuscular control, and you name it. It goes on and on and on.
Right, and then we're looking around, there's lots of pieces of equipment. How many pieces of equipment,
So there's
parts of the body
yeah,
are addressing?
right. So there's 23 stations,
Okay.
but every station has anywhere from 2 to 20 exercises.
Okay.
So overall, there's about 300 exercises that you can do. And they're all functional,
Okay.
which means that they engage many body parts at the same time, and they're measurable. So we've got sensors installed in the machines. We're taking 300 readings every second to then analyze them in the cloud and produce biomechanical index, range of motion, strength curves, all sorts of different things.
I was going to say range of motion because if you've got a trainer adjusting things
Right.
and against your resistance, I guess, that's going to give you a very specific, almost an exact, if you're in tune with your client,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
In terms of range,
Yeah.
not just whatever the bicep machine
Exactly.
is, right?
Exactly. So the trainer looks at the screen, and the screen shows him for this particular client
Right.
what his range of motion is,
Right.
as it was, in the previous training session,
Okay.
and then he can.
How does it get that? Because you can push too far, right? Like,
Yeah.
how do you know
So
what
the
my
first,
range is?
right? So the first you do the checkup.
Okay.
Right. So the checkup is a free flowing motion, right?
Okay.
So you're doing how you can do it without any force applied, right? So then the system records it, and then it shows it to the trainer, and the trainer then looks at what was the range of motion before,
Right.
what was the force that I can apply, and then it sort of progressively does that over time,
Okay.
and that's what gives results. 'Cause
And
that's-
so on these screens then, what would we be picking up, and who would be reading it, the client or the trainer?
It's a trainer. So the trainer looks at range of motion, strength, and overall volume of eccentric work that he's been prescribed to do.
Right.
So we don't measure workout in terms of repetitions or sets. We measure it in terms of kilojoules of eccentric energy that you need to produce. So, and that's what the system shows the trainer. So when you're up to 100, the system stops, right?
Okay. So you might not do 3 sets of 10. You'd be doing.
You don't
whatever
do
the
3
body's
sets of 10.
telling you. Yeah.
Whatever your program is, and now it's very customizable. So depending on what your objective is, of course, if it's a general fitness level or if it's specific elite performance, athletic performance preparation or recovery, rehab. So you would have sort of different levels of what you want.
Great. And are you brand new or are you in like facilities? What's your business model?
So we operate our own studios in Dubai, Marbella, Barcelona, Madrid. But we're also doing a business-to-business concept, which
Okay.
is gym inside a gym.
Yep.
And we're also inviting franchisees to come in and speak to us, opening up studios in many countries.
So is that the model? It's a franchise license kind of model?
It could be, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, as
And
well.
what if people just want to buy the equipment?
They
Are you doing
can,
that with-
but it also comes with training and
Right.
the system itself, because the software and all that. So it's not just buy and then use, because it's quite complex.
Right. And then do most clients, do you do a circuit with a trainer or is it specific to what you need?
Every client would have its own program.
Okay.
So, and then that program will depend on what the needs of that client are in
Right.
terms of, what his goals really are, right? Why is he training?
Right.
Does he want to just lose weight, or does he want to get in shape? Does he want to prepare for his next tournament, or what's his objective?
Right.
How did you come up with this? Like, it is novel. You don't really see anything that's
Yeah.
totally new. What was the thought process behind
Well,
it?
the thought process was to look at, it's obviously I don't want to, we're part of the fitness industry, and I really appreciate sincerely that people enjoy exercising, but I think that exercising by itself is just not enough for most people. They need more personalized approach, which values time and objectives. And what Neonetic tries to do is to prepare the training session to the objectives of the person.
Right.
Now, the system started many years ago, over 100 years ago, by there's a history there on the wall by Peter Lind, who's a Swedish physiologist, and then it was Gustav Zander, who had over 100 studios around the world in the start of 19th century. And then it was Alan Jones, of course, with his range of fitness equipment. And then there was somehow the fitness industry went sideways into power, weightlifting, bigger muscle groups. And Arnold Schwarzenegger played a big role in it, I'm sure. But what we try to do is to bring it back to the physiological foundation and to say exercise needs to be physiological, needs to be efficient, therefore needs to be eccentric.
Right.
It looks like there's a lot of time, effort, and money gone into this. From when you came up with the idea, you know, how long did it take to
get here?
We had. I mean, we got lucky because we had COVID, right? And we didn't have to worry about anything but to work.
One way of looking at it, yeah.
We were just locked in working.
Yeah.
Our team is amazing. We've got people from Australia to Israel to Eastern Europe, Germany, France, Spain, and it's a remotely built concept with the production facilities in Asia.
Okay.
So we're very efficient, so we didn't burn a lot of money.
Really?
Yeah, we're quite good with that.
Right.
We understand tech very well. We have a great architecture, scalable architecture for software. It's all cloud processed. There's no server. It's basically IoT stuff here. And I think that with the 23 machines we have now, we're covering most of the needs of the studios or gyms or health clubs, etc.
And what are you, a privately owned company, are you?
Yeah, we're completely private, so there's a few shareholders there,
Right, so you have to
and we just love it. We're having fun.
It's really, you know, if people are watching, it's very well finished. It's very well put together.
Thank you.
And,
Thank you.
For a new concept, it's nice to see something. It's like I've never seen that before. You know, it's nice to come up with something.
Thank you.
Really innovative.
Is it a good thing or not?
No, it is. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. I think this whole area. You know, we've just been looking at this sort of movement, recovery, mobility. That
Correct.
whole space is quite needed at the moment.
Yeah, and it's a spectrum. So you have the foundational level where you want to have rehab, for example, and then you have this ladder going up to elite performance. But it's a continuum, and we wanted a concept that would cover the whole range.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it's appropriate for this podcast, but my son is a professional athlete and professional ATP sort of tennis player. So we built it for him when he was 15, 16. He was injured a lot.
Right.
And we looked at what can we find, what can we do, and then we started sort of unwinding that concept of physical training for health.
Right.
And then eventually it sort of grew into Neonetic brand.
Right.
Well, congrats, mate.
Congratulations.
Thank you
I'm
so
sure we'll
much.
see a lot of you around
Thank you.
in the
Well,
future, hopefully.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you've got any value from it whatsoever, then please do us a favor, like, subscribe, tell somebody, and that will help us to be able to continue to do more of these and help you escape your own personal limits. Thanks for listening.